shakedown. I'm gonna be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Has a new target in his sights. NFL legend Shannon Sharpe. A brand new lawsuit was just filed in Nevada claiming Sharpe was manipulative and eventually a Jane Doe, with the latest claims allegedly happening as recently as January. We got our hands on the filing and we're gonna break down everything.
Y'all, Shannon Sharpe is not catching no breaks because he just got sued for S.A'd again by yet another woman. For someone who's been claiming that their first accuser was lying, he can't seem to stop collecting S.A'd lawsuits like Infinity Stones. Okay, Thanos? But his new accuser is a woman who claims that they were in a relationship for 10 years. And get this, not only is she claiming that he allegedly S.A'd her, but she's also claiming that he blackmailed and threatened her into silence. She claimed that he threatened to ruin her life and career if she ever told anybody about it. But wait, because that's not even the wildest part. The streets are now saying that we're about to see even more women come to sue Shannon, and it looks like it's about to be the end of Shannon because he's going down and down fast. But did Shannon really do this, or is this all a part of a coordinated attack of one successful black man to go down? Looks like there's a whole new edition of Club Shay Shay, the S.A. edition. Let's break it down. Y'all, Shannon Sharpe has been fighting for his life like crazy these past couple of weeks after his ex brought an S.A. lawsuit against him. While he was trying to fix that situation, fans dug out another lawsuit that it was filed against him by another one of his exes, claiming that he S.A'd her allegedly as well. Well, the ex, another white woman named Michelle Evan, filed a lawsuit against Shannon in New York back in 2023. Apparently, she's not that Michelle, but according to reports, she has been in a relationship with Sharpe for nearly a decade, ending in 2010 when she says they got into an argument over his alleged infidelity. Evans alleges that Sharpe then requested that the two have sex, and she refused. The defendant proceeded to forcibly subdue me, compelling me to my knees, and subsequently engaging in non-consensual oral penetration. Despite my protest, he persisted in this. She went on to claim that, consumed by fear and the perplexing nature of his actions, I harbored a deep-seated apprehension that resistance would precipitate further detrimental outcomes. According to the complaint, Sharpe, 56, maneuvered her onto the bed and achieved non-consensual vaginal penetration, all the while proclaiming his intent to make it so no other man would want her. Now, when Shannon was done, Michelle claimed that he allegedly threatened her into keeping her mouth shut, saying that he would ruin her if she dared to expose him. She wrote, he levied threats of ruin, declaring that any attempt on my part to disclose his transgressions would be met with a comprehensive campaign to use everyone I know to destroy you. She went on to get a restraining order against Shay Shay, but she dropped it a few weeks later because she was scared for her life. She said, after I filed for restraining order, I was sitting in my apartment with my daughter. I had a basement floor apartment with a door leading out to the sidewalk. So I was right there, vulnerable, and somebody came up to my door and said, shut up, F&B. And I ran and dropped it right then because I had a child at home with me at the time, and having someone coming to my door with her there, you know that. No. Now, like I said, this lawsuit was filed in 2023, but it blew up after Shay Shay's new lawsuit and he was getting dragged for filth. He'd addressed the situation with his statement via his lawyers. The statement said, it should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. In many cases, these stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact. They are shared on social media or fed to reporters with intentional factual omissions and no regard for the truth. This is obviously purposeful, designed to create and fabricate a narrative. This is exactly what is happening to Shannon Sharpe, and the resurrection of the case involving Michelle Evans is a perfect example. It continued. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. The fact is that Shannon has had no contact with this person for many years. Bottom line, Shannon has done nothing wrong and intends to fight back against these malicious lies, not with manufactured defenses or imaginary stories, but with documented proof and real evidence. Now, like I said, y'all's Uncle Shay Shay is really out here fighting for his life, because 2 lawsuits in 1 week is not a joke. But speaking of which, his accuser, Gabriella Zuniga, recently released some screenshots to back up her claims, and it's not looking good for him. In one text, she said, "I cried when you left because I begged you to put protection on and not put it in my behind, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this." And in response, Shannon asked if he could call her later. And y'all, this kind of lines up with what she said in her lawsuit, where she accused Shannon of manipulating and controlling her, alleged that he violently S.A'd and S.A'd her from behind in October 2024 and January 2025, blatantly ignoring her pleas for him to stop. The lawsuit details instances of alleged threats and physical assault, stating Sharpe refused to accept the answer no, even as she sobbed and screamed. Well, Shannon then clapped back at her, releasing a statement as well as some very NSFW texts between him and Gabriella. Well, mostly from her, but in the text, she said stuff like, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me. I know you miss this big juicy A. $25K for each cheek. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want. I want to put my tongue in your a-hole and then marry you. That's my daddy. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me." Then Shannon's statement went on to say that this lawsuit filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney Tony Busby is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars in her effort to extract a large financial settlement. Ms. Zuniga presented Mr. Sharpe with a secretly recorded video of a consensual, intimate encounter. We believe the video has been heavily edited and taken entirely out of context, crafted to falsely portray a consensual act as non-consensual. It continued, "The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, adult language, and fantasy scenarios, explicitly requested by Ms. Zuniga. The edited tape that Ms. Zuniga secretly taped and showed to Mr. Sharpe during her blackmail attempt tries to falsely portray as a result of this editing and out of context from prior text messages that the intimate activity was not consensual. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of S.A., and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail. He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court. He looks forward to vindication through due process and a judgment based on the facts and the law." Well, his lawyer also tried to paint Gabriella as a gold digger, saying her knowledge that Mr. Sharpe's about to receive a very lucrative contract. She knew that, took advantage of it, and I describe this in my opinion that this is a classic definition of blackmail that gives the greatest leverage to blackmail. He also exposed Gabriella as an OnlyFans creator, saying what she does on OnlyFans was for money, and a role-playing, and a virtual fantasy with money who pay her. It was in fact that the plaintiff started to charge Mr. Sharpe money. This is who she is by the facts. I'm just describing that she's on OnlyFans and charges people money to do role-playing. Well, her lawyer Tony Busby was not about to let Shannon's team make his client look bad, so he exposed them for secretly offering Gabriella a $10 million payout in exchange for keeping her mouth shut. He said, "Back in early February, our office contacted Mr. Sharpe on behalf of Jane Doe and broached the subject of a meeting. Multiple conversations took place. Ultimately, a mediation occurred. Sharpe was represented by different lawyers in that mediation. That mediation process went on for more than 6 weeks, ultimately leading to Mr. Sharpe making an incredibly significant offer to settle. However, Doe refused that hefty sum offered by Sharpe and instead filed this case." He continued, "On the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is a true statement. Jane Doe was in fact offered $10 million to settle but rejected that offer, choosing instead to proceed with litigation. Sharpe's team is now trying to discredit and dox her. Sharpe and his team are now, and as anticipated, also attacking me. We are not going to be deterred by these tactics. So this is very interesting because Miss Michelle has been pretty silent about her lawsuit, and fans are now wondering if she was paid off by Shannon and his team, kind of like how he tried to pay off Gabriella. I mean, think about it. She claimed that she dropped the order of protection because she was threatened, but that doesn't quite make sense though. If anything, shouldn't that have convinced her that she actually needed the protection? The math isn't really mathing y'all here, and fans are now speculating that the real reason is that she was paid off, but y'all didn't hear it from me. Now, Tony Busby also claimed that the texts of Shannon and his lawyers had released were old texts sent before the alleged S.A'd incidents. He wrote, "Every text that Mr. Sharpe's counsel released today, purportedly from Jane Doe, are dated prior to the alleged brutal set forth in Jane Doe's case. Those texts were obviously released in an effort to distract the public's attention from the allegations in Jane Doe's lawsuit. It won't work. So if there's one thing that we know about Mr. Tony Busby, is that he is never afraid to fight dirty, and it's kind of relentless. I mean, y'all remember how he went head to head with Jay-Z's lawyer last year and even earlier this year. So when Shannon and his lawyer started to play dirty by naming Gabriella after filing as Jane Doe, releasing her details, Tony Busby got ready to roll in the mud with them. He released an audio where Shannon could be heard threatening to choke Gabriella.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know that mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
In another audio, Shannon made a disturbing comment about a big black guy choking a small white woman.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
Yeah, that's not doing Shannon any favors. Even if he's eventually found not guilty, fans already think he's super weird for fantasizing about choking out someone who's half his size. And after releasing the audio, Tony Busby wrote, "The contents of this clip are certainly not sexual. They are not playful. They are instead disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. The audio paints a very clear picture of how Sharpe treated Jane Doe, leading her to escape from him by leaving Nevada and blocking all contact with him." He also said, "Mr. Sharpe's aggressive approach will instead have the opposite effect. Ms. Doe is not afraid of the truth. She relies upon it. I look forward to presenting the evidence in this case through the judicial process where the truth matters more than a sports icon's desperate public spin." So Shannon is trying to play this off like it's no big deal, business as usual, doing work, still on Club Shay Shay and Ocho Cinco's podcast. But he's facing some serious troubles as a result of this lawsuit. For example, the $100 million podcast deal that he had in the works is reported to be pending now. He was super close to signing the deal, but nobody wants any part of this mess. They're trying to keep their distance. Also, he has temporarily stepped down from his job at ESPN until the situation is handled. Even though he claimed that he voluntarily stepped down, sources claim that he was forced to by the network or he would have been suspended, which would make things even worse. So in the statement he said, "My statement is found here and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, friends, fans, and colleagues. However, it don't look like this drama is going to be over anytime soon, because the streets are now saying that there is even more women allegedly planning to sue Shannon for S.A'd in these next coming weeks. Well, Shannon might want to keep his lawyers on speed dial because the drama is about to get real. But in the meantime, I gotta know what y'all think about this chaotic drama in the comments below. Do you think your Uncle Shay Shay is innocent? Let me know and check out this next video.